Welcome to part 2 of learning how to calibrate your filament in your slicer. Today we'll be calibrating the flow rate, also known as the flow ratio. In Bambu Studio there are two options for calibrating flow ratio, which are named coarse and fine. Typically you start with the coarse calibration. Once selected, a window pops up where you can choose your filament and click OK, which will add these sample blocks to your plate, each with a different flow ratio applied, with 0 meaning no change to the default flow ratio. I won't dwell on this method though, as it's a bit outdated. A newer method, called the YOLO method, uses the Archimedean chord's top surface pattern, which makes it a lot easier to analyze the results. Other slicers, like Orca, have this test built in. However, Bambu Studio doesn't, for whatever reason. So to make life easier, you can use a model like this, which I found on Makerworld. Basically, each rectangle on the model has a different flow ratio applied, shown by the number labels. You can also write in your filament information at the top here, which is useful if you ever need to refer back to the calibration. Something else I'd recommend before printing this is to head to the filament profile and change the default flow ratio to 1. This makes it a lot easier to analyze the results of the print, because the number written on the model will be the exact flow ratio applied, so you don't have to hurt your brain with maths. If you want, after slicing you can change the view type to flow. This way you can see the very slight differences in the flow rate, but only after printing will you be able to get any results. Hopefully you can see that the lower flow rates on the right side have given pretty poor results, with quite a lot of under extrusion, which is to be expected for lower flow rates. And the opposite is true for the higher flow rates on the top left, which have some over extrusion, which you can see from the raised parts here. So we're looking for the most uniform and flat finish, which I think is going to be between 1.02, 1.03 and 1.04 flow rates. Overall I think 1.03 gives the best finish, so I think I'll go with that one. Back in the slicer we can put this flow ratio result into the filament profile, then make sure you save it to your custom settings. And that's how you calibrate your flow ratio. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow for part 3, as well as more 3D printing tips and tutorials.